All right, the focus question for today. How do I write an equation? In point-slope form. Yesterday we did slope-intercept form because you were given a slope and a y-intercept. Today you're going to do point-slope form. And then you're going to convert it to slope-intercept. Okay, so here's the format for point-slope. It's the letter y, and then the opposite of the y value given equals the slope times the letter x and the opposite of the x value given. That's what all of that means. The letter y and then the opposite of the y value equals the slope times the letter x and the opposite of the x value given. You're going to be given a slope. You're going to be given m equals, say, 2. And you're going to be given a point. And your point might be 2, negative 3. And you're going to be asked to write an equation in point-slope form. And here's what it'll look like. In point-slope form, your equation. All right, we go the letter y. And then following the letter y goes the opposite of the y value given. What's the opposite of negative 3? Positive 3. Equals the slope, your m is 2, times the letter x, and with the x goes the opposite of the x value given, minus 2. That's your equation in point-slope form. The minus 2 came from the opposite of the x value given. This is your x1, and this is your y1. And up here in this formula it says the letter y and then the opposite of y. X and the opposite of your x. So the opposite of positive 2 goes here. And the opposite of negative 3 goes here with the y. Okay? If you're given m is equal to negative 1/2 and a point on the line, negative 3, negative 4, and you're asked to write the equation in point-slope form, your equation is the letter y and then the opposite of your y value. So we go plus 4 equals the slope, negative 1/2, times the letter x and the opposite of the x value given, positive 3. That's it. You're done. It's in point-slope form. If you're asked to write it in point-slope form, it's in point-slope form. Any questions there? Then, you're going to be asked to write it in point-slope form and then graph it. Okay? Now look, here's how you graph these. You just draw your coordinate plane. Here's your x and y. Your point is at negative 3, negative 4. So negative 3, negative 4, that point would be right here, wouldn't it? That's a point on that line, right? What's the slope? The slope is negative 1/2. So how many are we going to rise? We're going to rise 1 and run 2 to the left. And then we're going to rise 1 and run 2 to the left. And there's the graph of your line. Okay? So here's the equation. There's the graph. Yes? Yeah, just graph the point that they give you. And then use the slope to find 2 more points on the line.
What is 1 plus 4?
It's just part of the equation.
But when you're dropping it, it's not going to do it.
No, because it's in point slope form.
Alright.
Alright? If you were given a line, what if you were given this equation for a line? Say you're given that and you're asked to graph it. What's the slope of this line? It's 3, isn't it? And what's a point on the line? +2 and -1. Right? The opposite of this, opposite of your y goes with the y. Opposite of your x goes with the x. So if -2 is with the x, then 2 is on the line. Right? If there's a +1 with the y, then -1 is the y coordinate. And you could plot that point. 2, -1. You could go to 2, -1, and put a point. And from that point, you would rise 3. 1, 2, 3, run 1. And there's the line. Alright? In the second part of your assignment today, you're going to be asked to write an equation in slope-intercept form. So write an equation in slope-intercept form. For the line described. For the line described. Now, the description of a line may be something like it goes through 5, -3, and it's perpendicular to y equals 1/2 x plus 3. You know, 4 problems like this today. Write an equation of a line in slope-intercept form that goes through 5, -3 and perpendicular to y equals 1/2 x plus 3. Yesterday, what did we say about the slopes of parallel lines? Slopes of parallel lines were the same. What did we say about the slopes of perpendicular lines? Yes. Negative reciprocals. So, we need the negative reciprocal of 1/2 to write our new line. So what's the slope of our new line going to be? -2. Very good, because that's the negative reciprocal of 1/2. So look, our new line goes through 5, -3 and has a slope of -2. Didn't we just write equations when we knew a point and the slope? So can you write it in point slope form?
Yeah.
Can anybody want to take a shot at that? Go ahead. Sure, Ronaldo.
Y equals, y plus 5.
Y and the
Oh,
opposite of your y
y
value. Good.
plus 3
Equals
x minus 5.
-2 times x minus 5. Good. Now, that's in point slope, isn't it? That's in point slope, but the question asks for slope intercept. Okay? So if it's in point slope, if you distribute the slope, we're going to get y plus 3 equals -2x plus 10, right? Yeah.
In the book it says
I know. It says y minus y1. Y minus y1 means y and then the opposite of your y1. That's what the minus in front of it means. It's serving the same purpose as a negative sign.
Oh, okay, so alright.
That's telling you to use the opposite of the y value that's given. So you use the plus 3.
Okay.
And it means to use the opposite of the x value that's given. So that's why you get the negative 5.
Alright.
Now, if you subtract 3 from each side, won't this thing be in slope-intercept form? If you subtract 3 here and subtract 3 here, you got y equals negative 2x plus 7, right? There's slope-intercept form. That's what they're asking for. So look at what you did. You took the given information. You used this point. And you got a slope from the existing line. They asked for a line perpendicular to, so you use the negative reciprocal of the slope given. That's the slope of the new line. So now you have a point, and you've got a slope for the new line, and then you wrote it in point slope form. You distributed the slope, and then you solved for y, and that put it in slope-intercept form, which is what they're asking for. Alright, so it's a multi-step problem. You got to get the slope from the given line. Alright, write it in point slope, distribute, and solve for y to get it in slope-intercept form. Yes?
So if it's parallel, we just keep it the same slope?
That's a great question. If they would have asked you to write an equation of a line that is parallel to this line, parallel to y equals 1/2 x plus 3, what would the slope then be? It would be 1/2. The slopes would be the same. If they ask you to write an equation of a line that's perpendicular to the given line, then you use the negative reciprocal of the given slope. Well done. Nice question. All right? Any other questions? All right, your assignment for today is page 202, 19 through 24, and then 27 through 40. Make sure you're checking the odds in the back of the book and checking headline for homework.